Good afternoon, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on May 6, 2017 at 16:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time. And here is a snag from the hackberry tree, which was the bottom part of a limb that you might have heard me stew and worry about that was going to fall at some point. Or I certainly thought it would, or was very likely to fall at some point onto the deck, probably taking out part of the deck rail. But God in His mercy sent this limb down onto the, just beneath the deck. Must have been sometime early this morning or mid-morning. I didn't hear it because it didn't really hit anything. It maybe hit right about here. So I can now start walking onto the part of the deck where I really like to walk. We've had a lot of rain. The creek's up. Wasn't up while it was raining, but we had about 3 days of rain, fairly steady rain. And of course now the creek's up. No water in the basement though. Well, here's my new travel suitcase. Let's see how that's going to work on this upcoming trip in the fall. I'm going to take it down to my goddaughter's wedding, but that's not really a big test of it in terms of like the little wheelie things and handle and stuff. Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here. It's been a while, actually, a little bit of a while, since I've last spoken with you or made a video, or for that matter, actually even looked at any YouTube videos. More of that anon, perhaps. But first, I have a feeling these things aren't going to be right properly. They're a little tilted here. Yeah, stop. Here. We don't want that wax running down. We want these things straight, dudes. Liz and Henry came over on Thursday night, which would be the 4th, and Henry has a new client, and the client, wants an alcohol thing or whatever, and then also produces pizza. So he brought over some pizza from this new client, and it's always fun to see Liz and Henry. And then he had to scamper off to go see another client or do whatever he does, and then Liz and I sat over here and talked. We talked the better part of probably another hour and a half. I don't think she left till just a hair before 11 in the evening. Always good to see them. Always good to talk. We talked about her grandchildren and her children and her grown children. 3 grown children, 3 grown daughters. And about all the construction stuff going on in front of her place. In terms of, correcting drainage, and I guess there is going to be a bike path right in front of her place. So there's been a lot of stuff going on this past week. Well, until the really heavy rain started, and then, we've had, as I mentioned, we had 3 days of pretty good rain, and some are quite heavy at times. that was fun. But we finished up the last set of two candles. So that's why I'm firing up new candles. As I had mentioned, I've not been watching any YouTube videos to speak of for the last 4 or 5 days. What I have been watching is I've been watching more of these British comedies. The most recent one is one called Outnumbered. Outnumbered. One word. Outnumbered. It was it six or 8 seasons. 7 seasons maybe. Well, as I tend to do, I tend to binge watch these things. Once I find a way to find them online, I'll just sit there and watch them, for 8-9 hours at a stretch. And they're just, I haven't laughed so much in probably several years. We're talking like just sit there and just laugh, not chuckle or grin, but laugh. Sometimes when the tears come down. I mean, it's great stuff. Today I've been, I mentioned earlier, I think in the last video or a couple of videos back, I'd watched something called Fresh Meat. And in the In-Betweeners. And then today I've been watching something called Cuckoo. Now there are a number of seasons of this. I watched the first season and then I started the second season, but it's clear they're going to change the premise of the character called the Cuckoo probably each year. So I'll have to look into that further. And then late yesterday evening, Friday evening, I found the second episode of the 3rd season of Fargo. So of course I had to watch that and put that into the hard drive. Well, tomorrow, of course, is Sunday, and that's the 200th anniversary of our church, our congregation in any case. And Bishop Price will be there. I won't be reading, as far as I know, but who knows. There's going to be a big lunch afterwards. A lot of hoo-ha. So I'm going to see if I can shoot some video during that. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. We'll see. Okay. As I mentioned in the introductory remarks, here's the snag that's left over from when that big limb fell down. That big limb has been looming over the deck probably at least the better part of 2 years. It hasn't had any growth on it for 2 years. I mean, it had like a couple of leaves about 3 years ago, like a couple of little leaves right up the top. Beep, 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 leaves. And I've not been standing on a certain part of that front part of that deck for almost 2 years. That's actually the favorite part of the deck for me. But it broke off. Probably broke off this morning. Well, I mentioned that in the earlier introductory material. But thank you, God, once again for taking care of me. All right. Some candles. The provisional and overwhelmingly good grace of God right here. It's demonstrated by this. I got some new glasses, hard glasses cases. I couldn't find the ones that I had bought 2 years ago, well, a year and a half ago, because they're not making it. Of course they're not making it. It's a good product, so of course they stopped making it. This will probably be a more or less adequate replacement. Getting ready for travel. The airline sent me a change in, minimal change in flight times for this trip over to the UK in fall, in September and October of this year. Meanwhile, my friend Tony Pincham's over in Blackpool at his little annual things that he really likes to go to. And I hope he's having a good time. Some guy dropped dead there last year. Well, it is an older crowd. Okay, bye-bye YouTubers. Talk to you tomorrow in all likelihood. And talk to you again right now because I had to finally resort to kind of like the nuclear option on the landline here. I'll let you listen to this.
Thursday, 6:11 p.m.
I love it.
That's Liz listening to the message. I'll now play you the message.
Hello, you have reached Joe Kersey's landline. Because of the number of unsolicited phone calls I'm receiving on this number, I'm no longer answering this number. Those of you who are calling that know me well enough will have my cell phone number, and you can call me on my cell phone. Or you can email me, and those of you who know me well enough can also email me. Have a great day, and leave me alone, you assholes that keep bothering me.
Well, there. We'll see how that helps, or doesn't help.